There we go. Mike, thank you very much. I've just done all that and realized I left myself on mute. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm going to start again. Thanks for letting me know. All right, I am going to become professional at this one day. All right, okay. I'll start again. Shall I? Oh, this happened to me last night. What's happened, Mike, is I'm trying to get tricky, and I'm trying to start the stream with a photo, and then when I have connection issues and I can see the photo pop up, then I know, okay, now I can go live, and I press unmute. I think I'm not going to stop pressing mute. I'm just going to let it go live with the audio, and then I'll go. All right. Okay, start again. Hopefully with the live I can trim it afterwards for the replays. Okay, today we're going to talk about layering. So we're going to talk about layering as in subject distance layering, and also, let's have a look. What did I call it? I call it distance to camera layering and overlap layering. So today we're at day number 16, number 16 today, and yeah, so I was saying before I had all my technical issues, I've been investing in my gear quite a bit. Hopefully you can tell there's a difference with my camera. My camera looks a bit better, a bit sharper. And my audio, I've invested in my audio, and I've purchased, and I've been playing around with this $700 worth of gear here with a headset, with a great mic, an interface, a cloud lifter here, so I can run all these professional cables, increase the gain, all that sort of thing. So I've been working on my sound, but it helps if I unpress the mute button. And then last night I had technical issues, so I went back to my lapel mic, and do you know what I experienced? My lapel mic actually sounded better, which was really interesting. Slightly devastating, but really interesting. So I'm reverting back to this until I have a bit more of a play around with that. So I'm trying to improve these lives, trying to deliver a better product to you. When I record my tutorials for my courses and that sort of thing, it's a different environment, and it's easier. But the lives, there's so many technical things to try and up my game and try and deliver a better product too. So we're at day 16. We're over halfway through these 30 days, and today, as I said, we're talking about layering, and it's distance to camera, which most people are familiar with, and then the overlap, which is one that most photographers aren't really aware of. So that's really cool. Going to get lots of value out of this. So the first one is distance to camera, and this is one that you'll be familiar with. So if we think about this like a landscape photographer and a landscape photo, you have a foreground interest, so something in the foreground, you have a middle ground, and then a background. So the foreground interest can be a rock on the shoreline at the front of the camera, so it has that size, that dominance, that positioning off center, all that sort of thing. Ding, positioning off center. We've talked about that one before. That the dings are when I have an extra tip thrown in there. And you have your foreground interest. Your middle ground could be where the water and the sand meet, and then you have your background interest, which is the horizon or a mountain range in the background. So why do we do that? We do that to add depth to our photo. So composition is not just placing the main subject and other elements and how they interact. We want to create depth. We want to create a three-dimensional looking photo, not just a two-dimensional graphic design. Okay, so that's that one. Let me just have a look at my notes here, make sure that I have covered all that. Layering is the process of adding dimension and depth to the photo. Yes, did all that. To further enhance the positioning of your elements and make them appear more natural, you can experiment with depth of field. Okay, so if I use this photo here as an example, I have depth of field there. So I have the bench seat is in focus, and then beyond that is out of focus. Now, our smartphones are limited what we can do there. Unless you use portrait mode or live focus, you can create this computational background blur, which works amazing. I still can't believe how well it works. The other way is to get close to your subject, and the closer you are to the subject, tap on the subject on the screen, it'll go in focus, and then the background will become more blurred. And the further away the background is, the more blurred the background will be. So there's a smartphone specific tip. I'm just looking at my screen here. I have excellent connection. That is so good to see, because I've been experimenting with different times going live, and that's the first time I've seen it say that I have excellent connection. So yes, we're winning. Alrighty. Okay, digress, got distracted there. Now you can also, so that's also called differential focus. Differential focus is having that things get more and more out of focus, and then the other way of emphasizing that layering is to, and you can see in this example, the bench seat is a bit darker, and then as you get further in, it gets lighter and lighter, and that's done through editing, step 4 of my 4-step system. All right, what other tips do I have here? As you can see in this photo, use a space that's slightly out of focus. Yep, okay, I've done all that. The separation of foreground, middle ground and background can be further enhanced with color, pattern or lighting variations. Yep, we covered that, fantastic. All right, I also want to mention, if I got the little icon here, let's have a quick look. Another app that you can use is, there we go. Another app that you can use is called Afterfocus. Now this app allows you to blur the background after, like any photo, any of your existing photos, you can go in there and you can blur the background, and it's super cool. It's so easy. You just swipe over the areas that you want in focus, you swipe over the areas that you want to be the middle point, and then you swipe over the areas that you want to be in the background. And what it does is this technique called masking, and it'll go and based on where you swipe, it'll look for areas where it'll create kind of a line between each of these zones, if you like. Then you press next, change just the amount of blur. It's awesome. And it has another one called fading background. So you can actually go from the bottom where you've swiped, it'll concentrate on the bottom of the image being in focus, and then it'll fade through up to the top of the screen and give you that perception of depth. It's super cool. It's so clever. So that's Afterfocus. Alrighty. The next one I want to cover here is a technique that is not that common. It's called overlap. So it's layering, but it's overlap. Now, if I get myself out of the way here, as much as I like being here and saying hi, and you can see me gesticulating and all that sort of thing, I'm in the way, so get out of the way. All right, so you can see here that there's layering here. We've got foreground, middle ground, background, but this is further emphasized by the fact that some of these elements are overlapping each other. Alrighty, so we can tell with the bench seat in the bottom left corner, that is the closest thing to us because it is in front of that first stack on the left, stack of skis. You can tell those skis are behind that bench because the bench obscures it, it blocks it, a little bit of it. So you can tell, hey, this is here, and then there's that, and then behind that you've got that house, well not house, that dwelling, that structure with the flag on top. Okay, so you can tell that foreground, middle ground, background. You can tell by the overlap what's being obscured, what is in front of the other. Now that person in the middle there with the purple jumper, I'll call it purple jacket, because you can't see his feet, you're not quite sure whether he's slightly ahead of that initial ski rack on the left or whether he's behind it or forward, because you can't see, unlike the gentleman next to him wearing all black, you can see his feet are in the same focal length or same line as that second set of skis. Now you can tell that second lot of skis is past the guy in purple because the guy in purple is obscuring it. So you can see how that's working, and then as you go through the photo you can see something is in front of something, and that overlap is what creates that depth that we're looking for. Alrighty, let's just have a look at my notes here. I think I've pretty much covered it all. The difference in elements in size and positions provides visual cues and a point of reference to determine distance between subjects or objects. Okay. Yep, I think I've covered it all there. Yeah, fantastic. All right, and I just saw a spelling mistake, so I'll need to fix that. All right, so thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry about the technical issues at the start there. My kids are up. You can hear my kids now, so I'm going to have to get going. So thanks again. Tomorrow we're going to cover, what are we covering tomorrow? Let's have a look. Differential focus. Okay, we're going to show you that. How about, I'm going to open up after focus tomorrow and show you after focus and how that works. Let's get into that. That's really cool. So thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.